Good morning, everyone. Jackie, first of all, I just realized that it's 8 a.m. your time. So thank you so much for being here. And you look wonderful and wide awake. But hi, everyone. I'm Margaret Hernandez, and we are here with another Flex Your Influence Spotlight. And I'm so excited to have Jackie with me today. And we're going to hear a little bit about her. But I just want to remind you that this show is specifically to highlight small business owners and their journey and just the unique journey of a small business owner. I think that's a really good way to describe it. And Jackie, thank you for being here. It's so great to catch up with you, even for these first 10 minutes before we got on. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. It's so great seeing you too. You look fabulous.
You too. You too. Honestly,
Thank you.
seeing your face, it it kind of was like I do miss my life in LA. And as we were saying, when I go back to LA, I pop into like just certain clients and certain events, but then I retreat back to where my family is, which is in Riverside. So yes, it's very good to see you. And I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So I'm Jackie.kibler. I am an EOS implementer, and and this is new for you, I'm also now a coach for EOS worldwide. So new people that want to be implementers, I am their coach when they first launch their practice. So really excited about that.
Now that is
Um,
new news for me, but
yes.
surprising.
Thank you. So I'll go back a little bit. So I'm first generation in the United States. My grandparents are Holocaust survivors. My dad came over on a boat, and like a lot of my family were entrepreneurs. And I know that's new for you too. I could tell by your face.
I'm like, I already loved you, and now I'm like, okay, yes.
um, I'm from New York originally, from upstate New York. My family's all still there. And my dad had a music business for around 50 years. And you can imagine when you talk about entrepreneurs and music, and we had highs of highs, lows of lows. So when I graduated from college, which I was a psych major in college,
Mm-hmm.
um, after I decided I didn't want to work in crisis counseling forever, that I wanted to work for some larger businesses. And so I grew up with Dun and Bradstreet, was relocated all over the country
Wow.
every like 12 to 18 months. And we loved that sort of nomad lifestyle at first. Um, when I went into leadership, I was really quickly known as sort of the fix-it gal for underperforming offices, regions, divisions, and then eventually companies. And it's honestly because of the way I work with people, probably my psychology background, but my passion honestly is around people.
And you're fun.
So yeah,
And you're
absolutely.
fun. I think that's a big part of it. But continue.
Well, and we do. What I would do is I'd go into businesses, talk to executive leadership, find out what's going on, work with everybody else, and really just put together processes, put goals, celebrate successes after you hold people accountable to them. And then we would celebrate the successes. And then with D&B, at least I knew I was moving again. So goal was done, time to move on. That was kind of it. Um, but did that with like D&B, Wells Fargo, Corporate Executive Board, was brought back down to Southern California for the second time when I had helped with Los Angeles Times to help turn parts of it around. And then I was recruited to Vistage Worldwide. So I was into that entrepreneurial mindset again with like 100 different CEOs to help them grow their practice. Did the exact same thing I always did, was able to turn that part of Vistage around from the number 10 spot to the number 2 spot in about 12 months. And then one of the chairs brought me the book Traction, which I brought one for you. There it is. There's Traction, written by Gina Wickman. And when I read it, I just fell in love with it because it was everything that I did on steroids in a proven process that was documented and had a community. So about 4.5 years ago, Now think of the timing with this. About 4.5 years ago, I
Oh, yeah.
launched my practice with EOS. And that was like 6 months before COVID hit. And living in Los Angeles or Southern California as a whole,
Yeah.
like the whole city, the state shut down.
Yeah.
But I was like, I had a 3-week pity pot. And then I decided I needed to get my head straight
Mm.
and just grew my practice. And every day I get to work with entrepreneurs. My focus, I think, I don't know if you remember, it's women and minorities who own businesses, and that's sort of my passion play.
I didn't know that
Um,
was your focus.
yeah,
Amazing. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I work with a lot of guys too, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I mean, my whole thing, if I could take every female business owner and lift them up and help them rise, that just floats my boat, you know? It totally does. And then personally, been married to the same guy since 1990. We got together in 88. We're celebrating our 33rd wedding anniversary. I have 2 adult sons. One's 31, one's 21. And I've got a Bernedoodle laying in the corner.
Wow. Okay, so what I love is when you come onto the show, I do know something about you. Obviously, I know you. We've sat together, we've broke bread together, but I didn't know a lot of what you just said. And I have a great judge of character. I'm a great judge of character because you are
Did I pass?
you're the epitome of
Oh,
I have that same heart, because I focus on women, right? And definitely whenever there's anything that I can do to help a woman rise, that's my focus as well. But I always say, but I do work with men and I love men. They're wonderful. But yeah, I do. It's another unique set of business owners is when you're a woman. So
yeah.
the other thing is, interesting enough, I think you're one of the first people that I'm interviewing that grew up in a small business family. So that's an even like more unique point of view. And then going back to what you said about like, oh, I had your pity party, I wouldn't know it. I mean, if you follow Jackie on LinkedIn, just the people that adore you and are so thankful for the work that you do, it's so obvious. And I told you when I texted you yesterday, I said, I have some bragging to do on you because you're doing the work and people are loving it. And I love it because you're posting it. There's
Aw.
probably people that do great work and they don't let anyone know. And it's like, well, I don't want to put it out there, but it's not about bragging. It's about showing the world that there's movement, there's action, it's inspiring,
Oh,
right?
thank
When I see
you.
you
Yeah.
post a photo with a small business, because you don't just work with a business owner, you're working with the whole team, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So, which is great because that's what I love about the EOS system too, is that it's not just like a CEO, therapy. It's like every level is getting some development, some professional
Absolutely.
development. And that is such a gift to the employee. So I love it. And I'm sure some more questions are going to come out from everything you said, but I love that. Thank you for sharing all those wonderful details. I can't believe you've been married for 33 years. I'm loving all of this, but I want to know from your experience, what do you love most about being a business owner?
Oh my gosh. I love the freedom. I love being able to have my own destiny. Sometimes we all make stupid mistakes with certain things. I've certainly had my share of them. But I worked my whole life. I was raised with a work ethic that you are going to work hard. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I did well at what I did. But I really love the fact that I can sort of create my own destiny
Mm.
and I get to pick who I work with.
Yeah.
with and I was in sales. So when I was in corporate, it was like sales training and sales operations.
Yeah.
And whatever came to me. Now, if there's someone that isn't a fit to my personality, or I'm not a fit to their
Right. Right.
personality, I'll just introduce them to somebody else.
Exactly.
And that happened yesterday. And I love the CEO. There was someone on the team who was like, I don't know if she's a fit for the team. I introduced him to 3 other implementers.
Yeah.
No, it's all good, because if you have to like beat them in, chase them down, they're it's not going to work. I'm sure
Yeah.
you've had to
Yeah,
deal
yeah.
with that
Oh,
too.
yeah. You're reading my mind, and recently too, um I a client and I decided to go separate ways, and it was nothing. There was nothing wrong. It was just that it wasn't the right fit.
Yeah,
And that's okay, and some people need their marketing in-house anyway and
true.
can't work with an agency. Um because there's restrictions, there's limitations. We're not in the same office. So and I love that. You're right. We do get to we design the life that we love. Like we were just saying, like we can work
Go to
from.
London.
Yes, exactly. You can hop on over to London and see Les Mis for the weekend, and then it's a wonderful, wonderful way to live, but it's also not without a lot of um perseverance. We work very hard for that freedom.
Absolutely. I call it, I still do, when people ask me about this, I sort of call it a bipolar life. Oh my God, this is so great. Wait, oh my God, that's so bad. It's up, it's
Yeah.
down, it's up, it's down.
That's right. That's right. There are those moments. Absolutely. Um, but I also enjoy the freedom of being a business owner. That's probably when someone asks me, what do I love about being a business owner? It's always the freedom. And you said it when you were just talking about like when you were with Dun and Bradstreet and you were like moving. I like that too. I think I'm a little bit of a nomad myself.
Yeah.
And I love how you said that we love the nomad life until we didn't, because
Yes.
um, I traveled so much last year, and this year it was like all about nesting, and it was
Yeah.
about just making a home. Obviously I was just in California for a month, but to me, that doesn't count as travel.
Because you're home.
Because
You're
I'm
with
home.
family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, I love that. I love that. Okay, so on that note, what are you most excited about right now in your business?
Oh my gosh. Well, all right. So there's 2 things, if that's okay. Um,
Yes.
the first is I am about ready to head into annual season. So annual season is there's sessions within EOS, and every
That's
year
right.
when we're doing annual planning,
Mhm.
each client has a 2-day back-to-back session.
Mhm.
Um, and what comes out of that, because there's a lot around team building
Yeah.
and learning about yourself and blind spots, and I absolutely love it. It
Nice.
is it's just heartwarming to
Yeah.
see what comes out of that for each client.
Yeah.
Um, I've got about 17 of them coming to the EOS conference in April. And then the second thing is a little bit more on the personal side, and I shared this with you before. There's lots of reasons behind it, but I am relocating back to the East Coast to be closer to my family. And I've got a lot of friends that are in North Carolina, so I'm moving there. It has zero, you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. It has
Yeah.
zero impact on any of my clients. I've been bi-coastal since I started this journey, simply because I knew at some point I'd move back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really excited to begin our next chapter personally and professionally. There's some great implementers in the Carolinas, and I can't wait to spend time with them.
Well, that's super exciting. I mean, selfishly, that means I know I'm going to probably see you soon.
Oh, yes, you are, sister.
And there is something about, people ask me all the time, why would you leave LA to come to New York? And it's like, and I say, you're comparing apples to oranges, like
Yes.
literally the big apple to oranges.
Yes.
It's not
Actually, you know what? That's a great comparison.
It is. It is. And it's like, it's not the same lifestyle in any way, shape, or form. And that's what it is. I love, like we were talking about, being on the East Coast. I feel like I kind of live in Baltimore or DC because I could be there in less than 4 hours,
Yeah.
I can take the train. The train is amazing to get you from these like major, East Coast cities, Philadelphia, it's wonderful. So I'm very excited.
I didn't share this before, but I'm going to be in Baltimore next week.
Are you really?
I am. I'm speaking at the National Association of Women and Minority Law Firm Owners in Baltimore at the Inner Harbor.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's like home. That's another home. That's where my sister, it's, when you have a sister somewhere, it's like, I live in all of these places.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But we'll have to talk.
No. Yeah, we have to, because I know I'll have time and I would love to see you.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so just so you know, that question that I asked you is probably one of my favorite questions to ask a business owner. For those of us who are watching this, you have to know I do not like small talk. I don't know how to small talk. I want to know real things, or I don't want to know anything at all. I don't know why, but it's just in me. So a few years ago, in my head, I'm like, when I'm meeting someone, when I'm talking to someone, I want good questions to ask. And so that's one of them.
You're not superficial. That's why I love you.
Oh.
It's true. You're not superficial.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little superficial. Yesterday, I posted an Instagram and I said, really, my biggest issue right now is figuring out how to keep my tan during the winter.
Come to LA.
Oh, no, that's sweet though. But thank you. And I love that question. It's a question that we can always ask ourselves, because it's when I catch people off guard and they don't have anything to be excited about, I just say, that's a call to you to get excited about something. It could be small. It doesn't have to be, a trip to Antarctica. It could be, whatever. So I love
going
that.
around the corner and getting pizza.
Exactly.
Or in my hood, tacos.
Okay, now you're bragging. Okay, so then on that note, how do you stay inspired?
Oh my gosh. I am so internally motivated, and everybody has their moments of, what am I doing? Imposter syndrome, or, oh my gosh, I'm not where I want to be. And I really believe in the telephone, because you can read about all these things and that's great. But I really try to utilize my resources, whether it's personal, professional. I've got some mentors that I reach out to. I've got friends, family at times will do it just because they can make me laugh. And all it really takes is to make me laugh, and then I'm back. That's it. And I'm really, as you know, it really isn't difficult to make me laugh.
Yeah.
So that's it. I see, I mean, if I have a down something, and I know, like when I hang up with you, there is a client of mine, it's called 360 Office Supply. They're in Montana. And I know he left me a voicemail. He's like, hey, we've got issues before we meet in September. We need to talk. And I know by the time I hang up, I am going to be on cloud 10, because he just cracks me up. He's like this 6 foot, Lord knows how big, Energizer bunny whose mind goes like this, right? Like very visionary, visionary. And that just that just makes me, it just juices me up.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love getting inspired by my own clients.
Yes.
And you're right. I internally motivated. And that's why it's not wise to compare yourself to people, because we are all motivated differently. We all have such different experiences. You just can't. You have to come to every situation from like your own thing.
Right.
And sometimes you're not motivated. Sometimes I'm working and I'm not in a motivated mood, but I do know what I need to do. And one of those things is to laugh. And so when I was first starting my company, I would, just be texting with friends, and that was a hard road. That was 14 years ago, and I didn't even really even know a business owner. So you can imagine. And so, and I told my friends, later on, I said, you really helped me like get this going. And one of my friends said, what did I do? And I said, you made me laugh. You kept me happy. You gave me joy. And it's like, it just goes so far. And even more recently, so when I said that you were fun, when I sit down with a potential new client, I'm very open. And I say that one of the things that myself, my company, and my team are going to bring to the table is energy, enthusiasm, and fun.
Yeah.
Because that's just who we are. And that's one of the things that a lot of the companies that I work with need. And because marketing needs to be energized.
Yes.
So anyway, oh my gosh, I love that. I love the internally motivated. That doesn't ever dawn on me when I ask this question. Usually it's like, oh, I like to go on long walks or listen to music, which I'm sure you like both of those things.
Sure.
But I just want to, if you could, I know EOS is like this huge, beautiful. We sat down and I was blown away by, that first session that you have with people to introduce them. Is
Yeah.
there something, a tip, or even just an overview that you could give?
I'll give you a couple minute overview.
Yeah,
Right?
that would be great.
So, all right. So, actually, you're the perfect person with this. So, when you started your business, you loved marketing, you loved it. And you
I
said,
still do, thank God.
yeah, thank God, right? But you said, I didn't know anything about the business.
No.
And that's so normal. If I
Mhm.
love cooking or baking, I own a restaurant or a bakery, but I
Mm,
don't know anything about the
there
business.
you go. Yep.
EOS provides a framework and structure to help the business grow and be scalable and bring in like the right people, measure the right data, have a vision that everyone can align to, and then execute against it. And when issues come up, you're talking about them.
Yep.
And that's really what it is. So I work with companies to help them create that infrastructure.
Nice.
And it's so funny. There's people that I talk to, and they're like, God, that seems like a lot of hard work. It's going to be so much on us. And you know what?
Oh yeah.
For the first 30 days, it is.
Yep.
But then what happens? Like I have clients, like I was talking about my clients in New Jersey. The leadership team, CEO specifically, who used to have control of everything, is like now able to do other things. The guy in Montana, able to bring in new acquisitions
Yeah.
instead of being so
Oh,
operationally focused,
yes.
right?
So there was that heavy lift at the beginning. Obviously, I tell my clients, my newest clients, the same thing. It's like, yes, we're going to help you with the heavy lift, but it's going to be a heavy lift for you as well. Just a little bit at the beginning, but then it's beautiful.
Yes,
Now they have time to, you know, do what they need to do to grow and to be the visionary.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've
I
had
love
we've had retention issues change. We've had like people actually being happier and more productive in what they're doing.
Yeah.
I've got clients that have tripled their revenue, doubled their profitability. And it's just because they're focusing on what they should be focusing on because they have an infrastructure and it's not the Wild West. They're all directed toward the same thing.
Wow. I love that. I love that. And I know that it works. Traction. So would you recommend that people start with the book?
So there's a lot of ways you can start with EOS. Yes, you can read Traction or the book Get a Grip, which is the
Mm,
Fable version of Traction. I think that was the one I told you about
yeah,
first.
yeah.
It's if you like stories, that's
Yeah.
it. The people that reach out to me, I'm sort of Traction, like the 90-minute meeting that I gave
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
I am the book Traction in human form. So if you'd rather hear it,
Oh,
so you can do that.
yeah.
And there's also a lot of YouTube videos that you can listen to, stuff like
Okay.
that.
Well, so it's just like uh it's a very if you've never heard of EOS, if you never heard of Traction, this is a system that I know has worked for so many people. And Jackie, I've never even really talked to you about the people that you've worked with. I mean, I see them on LinkedIn, but I just know my colleagues who have done it. And so I think it's wonderful, and I think that you are wonderful. So if anyone really wants to like know more about this, all your contact is in the show notes. So please reach out to Jackie, or you can reach out to me and I will connect you to. And you're also speaking. Like I see you doing a lot within the organization,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
kind of you're moving your way around within the organization as well. You're
yeah,
standing out.
absolutely. Yeah, no. So yeah, no, I am, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it. So thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, so I'm speaking obviously today. I talked to a lot of Vistage groups. When I
Yeah.
was with NABO, I talked to the NABO group.
Yeah.
Um, and then like in October, I'm speaking in San Antonio to a group of industrial manufacturing organizations. So I'm very open to speaking anywhere to anyone
Yep.
about EOS.
That's wonderful. And it's also you're giving like for those people who are ready, you're giving them some hope of like, wow, you mean we can be an aligned company, we can be aligned. And I what I love about the EOS, like you were saying, the season, like the annual, I
Yeah,
remember that it's like you have the check-ins, the quarterlies, and I love it's just and it just seems so simplified, like you said. It was like a framework to something that you were really already doing.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so I think that's wonderful. And I've had so much fun with you today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so nice talking to you.
Is there anything that you want to say to the world? I, I you have so much wisdom, and again, I thank you for being here. Um, but yes, is there any last final words?
No, I mean, here's the thing. No matter where you are in the globe, there are EOS implementers near you. So if you're watching this, and
Um,
let's just say, I mean, I'm East Coast and West Coast. If you are in London, I can
yep,
introduce you to somebody. If you're in Australia, I can introduce you to somebody,
nice.
Florida, any of the 50 states.
Yep,
So there is somebody near you that can help you to maximize your business.
amazing. I love that so much, and it was so great to reconnect. It's been a minute, and so now I'm realizing that we actually met when you first started working as an implementer.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really exciting. And I didn't realize that you had just started.
I
It
tried not to tell people.
yeah. When I started my company, I was living in New York, but I immediately went back to California because I was in my 20s and I didn't want to have any I thought if you started a company, you had to quit your job. So okay, so now if you are interested in starting your own company, I highly recommend you keep your day job for as long as you But anyway, I went back to California and I went to my hometown, Corona. And that's where I was like, I was just as green as can be.
Yeah.
But then I got my training wheels. I went to the, Inland Empire Women's Business Center. It's like an SBA program. They helped me. They introduced me to NABO. And so I started getting ready to sell, to be to claim I'm a business owner and this is my company. But
Right.
on that note of what you just said, you didn't want to tell anyone. What I did was I moved to Pasadena where people didn't think I was a brand new business owner.
Right.
So, but I was.
And now look at you 14 years later.
14 years later. What a ride. What a ride. And like I said, I still love it.
Well, and I think that's the most important thing, right?
Yes. It looks different though. It looks a lot different. So, and it should. Your business should not look the same as it did 14 years ago.
No.
And if it does, you're in trouble.
Yeah, no, you've grown a lot, and I totally respect you for all you do.
Oh, thank you, my friend. I can't wait to see you. We will connect. I want to see if maybe even Baltimore, if there's overlap, because I do have a couple trips planned to Baltimore in September. So we will talk. I adore you. Thank you so much for being here. And you have an awesome day.